Let's get this up and running. Stream should be live. Let's just update this here. And we should be good to go. Yeah, welcome everybody. I'm Noskava, and what we'll be doing here today is basically simulating the start of a fresh new league and leveling our first character. Now, I know that this is the end of the Delve League and there will be a lot of changes coming forward in 3.5 Betrayal, but nonetheless a lot of things are staying the same, and I will try to guide new players through some of the more important game mechanics, leveling process, and I will be doing so by leveling a bow character. Now we will be going with a Slayer. That's an ascendancy for the Marauder class, and yeah, show you just along the way like little tips and tricks and what to do to help your gearing process and what gems to pick and where to go, so on and so forth. So let's get into that, shall we? Now, I was thinking that, wait, let me switch the scene. Here we go. Before we start off with a new character, it would be a nice idea to show you what the end product might look like. Now, what I have here is a level 89 Slayer with the build that we will be trying to replicate, and for that I have cleared out, no, I have not cleared it out, I was in the process of clearing it out, this stash tab right here. Let's just dump this all in there, move this here. This is basically a quad tab. Like when you start the game fresh, you will have 4 of these little tabs and nothing else. Now, you can buy additional tabs via store, whatever, don't bother with it for now. If you're a new player, you'll be just fine with like 4 stashes. This is like a premium stash tab which combines 4 into 1. So we'll be just using that for anything we find, not to use previously found stuff, basically to simulate the start of a fresh new league where you have nothing to go with. Let me just do a quick delve maybe to show you what the character is going to look like. Let's just jump in there quickly. Let me adjust that. So we're just gonna run through a quick delve. So you can see we have some decent clear speed, damage is really fine on this character, survivability is also great, and I think that this is a really nice league starter, especially for newer players, that should get you pretty far into the game, even if it is your first character. Now, why am I going with bows? I always liked the range playstyle, as well as there seem to be some buffs for bows coming along. There was a recent post from GGG where they showed off 2 existing unique bows that are getting buffed, and as well as crafting modifiers, not crafting modifiers, crafting mods being added that are way more powerful than the existing ones, which will make crafting bows easier as well. But let's just finish this note here. Grab some loot. this. Go back to our hideout. So this is what the character plays like. Let me just dump this in here. So yeah, that's about it. Let's exit the character screen and create a new character. Now I'll be doing this in solo self-bound, which is an additional mode where you cannot trade with players and you cannot party, hence solo self-bound. I decided to play solo self-bound for the new league, just as an extra challenge, and I was never much of a trader. I tend to find my stuff myself anyway, so this is what I'm going with. Usually when you start a new league, which is going to be Betrayal and not Delve, you will want to select that and just not tick the solo self-found box. So let's just do that. We're gonna go with the Duelist.
You were born to be swift and strong. What did you do with your gifts, Duelist? You squandered them on
Here we go.
dungeons. Sin has led you here.
So you wake up on the strand, on the beach, stranded, and the first thing you will want to do is change the default attack simply by left clicking on it to move only. You can equip the default attack at any of the other keys wherever you want. It doesn't matter because we will get our first skill here anyway. And before we start leveling and before we go into this, let us do another thing quickly, which is going to be getting a loot filter. This will immensely help you determine what stuff to pick up and what to just leave on the ground. And the way you want to do this is simply go to filterblade.xyz. Internet, please. Internet. Here we go. And you will want to pick the regular, probably, at the start. It doesn't matter much. One thing that is important is to go into presets and in the leveling section select bows and quivers. Since we're going to go for a bow build, this will display more bases and for bows and quivers than normally. So that's the only thing you need to change. Just apply and you're basically good to go. One other thing I would recommend is, and this is going to be important later, is to go into chancing bases. Now you can basically remove all the other stuff. We're just gonna go with the first one. You don't need these in the beginning. And in this, we can disable this, and this is disabled anyway. Very good. So in here we will type shark tooth, and this gives us the options shark tooth arrow quiver. We add that. And the second thing is an onyx amulet. We will need those for a specific item that we want to get already in the first act. So this is a really nifty trick if you're leveling a bow character, and it gets you a unique quiver very early on in the game, which is guaranteed. So shark tooth arrow quiver and onyx amulet. You can then save your filter, and then you go to download it, and once you have that, you just simply move it to your Path of Exile folder. You see I have other filters in here as well. This is the one that I created previously. And then back into the game, you simply go under UI, scroll all the way down and select the filter that you have downloaded, whatever name you gave it. Just click that, reload maybe, save, and that is it. The second thing I would suggest is to go into input and do some minor changes to which hotkeys you would like to use for your skills and your flasks. Flasks later on become very important. You use them all the time, and by default these are bound to the 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 keys. Now, since I like to have my hand ready to press all flasks simultaneously, I changed them to basically be the WASD keys. So we have A, W, D and S. And on Q I always have like my panic life flask, which I don't want to press all the time, just for like peculiar situations. So this is on Q. You can just change this by simply clicking in it onto this and pressing the key you would like it to be assigned to. And the other stuff, I have the number 2 and number 3, simply because they're easy to reach above the W key. And then E, R and F, because those are like with my pointing finger just next to the D key. Other than that, this is default, this is the middle mouse and the right mouse button. And I think that's everything. Oh yeah, under UI, I'm not sure if the minimap corner thing is displayed by default. You can do this under UI, and then, where is it? Show corner map. So you want to have this one checked to have the minimap over here. As well as, I think if it's X by default, no, it's tab by default, you can switch between the corner map and this map overlay. By the way, if you use your arrow keys, you can move this around, and by pressing tab again, you bring it to the middle. Once you have this overlay open, you can use the minus and plus on the numpad to zoom in and out. I like to have mine rather far out, maybe one step bigger, and just basically use rather this overlay than the corner map. It's a thing of habit. You can customize this a little bit by these 2 levers. As you can see, it shows the surrounding terrain, but I'm not a big fan of this. And the other slider controls the outline that shows you basically the area in which you can run around the borders of the area. So this is the setting I like. You can play around with it. Anything else? Oh yes, advanced, where is it? Or was it detailed? No. Advanced mod descriptions, this one here, also took this one on, we'll get to this in a second. So that's basically it. Save, and let's get up here, pick our weapon. Now we have to equip it, and now we can talk to this guy. Kill the first zombie, which will give us our first skill gem. And the way you use skills is you need to equip them, and they will be moved to your hotbar. I'm gonna switch this to my right mouse button and remove all the other stuff. We do not need those anymore. So here we go. Now in the first zone here, what you want to do, you do not need to kill the zombies here at all. You just follow the coastline, the shore, until you reach this little checkpoint here. There should be another box, yeah, this large chest. We get our second support gem here. Switch that in as well. Socket that in. And continue on the beach, on the shore, to the boss of this area, which is Hillock. He should be here on the corner. There he is, big boy. And we just kill this guy. That was nice and easy. Pick up some stuff we got here. Now we actually got a bow, which is really nice and good for us. And we enter our first town of Act 1. Now, the way skills work in PoE is, as I said, is by socketing them into your gear. You have two types of skills. One is called an active skill. This is an attack type. As you can read here, underneath the name it says attack and melee, or melee. And the second one is a support gem, which is attack and support, meaning it can support attack gems. Since Double Strike also has the attack tag, it means that chance to bleed were supported. Now, a common misconception that people have is that you need to have them in your weapon. That isn't true. I could very well put this attack into my chest and use it from there. But, as you can see, this one has two sockets with the same colors, but they are not linked, like in this weapon. They stick together. So if I put chance to bleed here, nothing is gonna happen. Sockets need to be linked in order for the support gem to function on it, and you can see this by this little icon here on the corner. If I remove this, it goes away. This means that this support is active on this skill gem in particular. Now, since we're gonna level a bow character, I'm actually going to equip this bow. You can press X, I think. I have switched X and tab on my setup, so that's why I get confused. You can press X to switch to your second weapon setup, and this is where I'm gonna use the bow. And for this,
Fine work with Hillock.
we are gonna get our first skill gems here. Now am tempted to take Shrapnel Shot, but I'm gonna go with Molten Strike here. I will explain in a second. We don't need to ID the chest. We will not be equipping a chest until a bit later. The reason why is that chests have a hidden stat, which essentially it lowers your movement speed, I think by 3 or 5%. So simply to go a little bit faster, we won't be equipping that at all. But we can sell all this stuff, which is gonna give us some basic junk. And I think I will resell this as well. What will I get for this? Okay, never mind. We have 4 ID scrolls. Oh, I can sell this. Now 5 of these scraps combined into a scroll now. What I do want to get though is another attack skill, and I will be taking Split Arrow here, which I can put in here. And I think that is it for now. I didn't take Shrapnel Shot. Yeah, it's good. Now what you can do is check if Tarkly here has boots with movement speed on them. Just going to come in handy. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any. And the bows that he has also have only 2 links, just like our current now, which is not a big help for us. Considering buying these because it has 2 green ones, but we're not going to do so. We got from killing Hillock, we already got our first level up and got our first skill point, which we are going to put into this left node here, which is attack physical damage and maximum life. Life is very important in Path of Exile, so this is the first one we're gonna get. Now, if you wanna like instantly assign these points, you can hold Control and click on it. It will then be automatically assigned. So we will not have to confirm it in this dialogues up here. So we have spoken to him, we have sold our junk, we have Molten Strike as a backup, we won't be needing Chance to Bleed, we won't be needing Double Strike, so I actually can sell these as well. Now, let us get out into the first zone. Now, we accepted all these quests in town. Let's talk to this guy, so this just goes away. It's not important right now. We have our bow, we have our split arrow, which fires, I think, 5 arrows. Is it 4? Doesn't matter. And we're just going to go through this zone rather quickly. We can try and kill a few of these crabs. Some skellies here, really don't have a lot of damage at the moment. Let's grab these gauntlets since we don't have any. Oops, I went down, didn't mean to do that. Okay, this is a weird layout that we're getting. Now, the way flasks work in Path of Exile and why you are using them so often is you can see I can use my other life flask here on A and another time on Q, which it won't let me do because I'm full on life. So let's take some damage. I can use Q again. And these will refill once you kill a certain amount of monsters. As you can see, we have lost some life here. Pushing flasks and they refill by killing off some of these guys. So we've killed some, they're back to full, so don't be afraid to use your flasks because they will refill as you kill enemies. Now I would like to get some more XP here. This is our first waypoint. Now you can see here this little orange dots indicates that there is a door and then to the next area. But we have our quest. It's a little side quest here in the beginning, which tells us to go to the Tidal Island, which is to the right. Now on the Tidal Island here, to speed up the process, if you see here, I think we're on the right side, we're looking for Hillock. I think we're on the right side. He should be by his little boat here somewhere. We do want to kill a few more. Is this the right side? I think so. Yes, it is. So there is going to be the boss of this area, which is Hillock. And this guy, he has this Glacial Cascade attack, which you just saw, this one. He's going to do that whenever you are not in his melee range. So if you stand close to him, which we cannot really do right now, because there's too many enemies, he will not be doing that. So once we have cleared off these guys, we can just stay in his face and try to see. He tries to run away and he'll do his cascade. So just try to dodge that. Okay, he got us with the second one. This is our quest item. We're gonna take the Iron Ring, a small mana flask. Scrolls for the beginning are very nice. And he even dropped a Quicksilver flask. Just I cannot believe that. Let's lever our gems simply by left clicking here. And a little trick that we can do here is, instead of using the portal scroll, which we only have 2 of, since we don't need anything from this area anymore, we can actually log out and log back in, which did I create him in Delve League? Yeah, I'm an idiot. Jesus, I really created him in the wrong league. Never mind. I'm just gonna go from here. I'll just have to... Oh, fuck me, man. Never mind. We'll just go from here and figure it out. So, what did we get? Yeah, but coming back to the earlier point, we just saved a portal scroll by logging out and going back to town this way. Now, we're gonna deliver this to Nessa. And we want to take the Quicksilver Flask. Now, it was super lucky that we got another Quicksilver Flask to drop, which of the chances are not very high, I think. But we now have 2, which is great. And the second thing that we are going to take here is... I think I'll go with the Onslaught Gem, which we cannot equip right now because we don't have another green socket to socket it in. But I will stick it into these gloves anyway because if you have a gem equipped, it can gain levels when you kill enemies. So we will just do that. Darkly doesn't have a reward for us, but maybe something we can buy. Check for movement speed boots again. Nope, no luck. Check these. Some int and life. Oh, if you have the vendor dialogue open, like when you're selling items, you cannot equip stuff. So, I wondered a few times when I was leveling in the beginning why I cannot equip stuff, and it was just because I had my trade window open. Let's check this headpiece. Energy shield, nothing good for us, but since we don't have any equipment, we do not care and equip it anyway, because it's better than nothing. Man, this flask. Super lucky. Let me keep these. These are level 5. Oh, I should have ID'd that one. Never mind. Okay. Let's sell these 2. Second point. No, I'm not gonna press Ctrl this time so you can see it. Just allocate the point and go apply. If you want to skip this part, you can simply hold Ctrl and click on it. Other than that, I think we have done everything we can do. Maybe sell this for more scraps, so we have one more ID scroll. Now we can go to the waypoint here and go back to the coast, since we have activated this waypoint already, and now progress to the next zone, which is the mudflats. So we are looking for a quiver. There is not a bow. Unfortunately, it still doesn't have the right sockets for us. Now in the mudflats here, we are looking for these roa nests, and we need to find 3 of these and pick up those glyphs. Here's the second one. Now be careful, because once you have collected or destroyed their nest, these roas will get a little bit angry and salty. There's some more bows, which we don't want.
My spirit is spent.
Let's get the third glyph. We'll choose. There's nothing good for us there. Chainmail vest. I'm gonna keep that in case we don't find anything better. Oh yeah, and I should probably start using my flasks, which I have on the wrong keys. Here's the blue pack, which I'm gonna try and kill. Nice, we got a quiver off of that, which is very nice. I'm gonna try and kill this unique enemy here. Who's back? Come on. Shield, Mist, and the blacksmiths. Let's use our movements fast. And I think it's gonna be more to the left. So we can actually head towards the exit of this zone already. Yes, here it is. Now we are placing the 3 glyphs we found in here. And continue to the Submerged Passage. Level our gems. Check the waypoint. We found the quiver, which is nice, which we're going to equip. Actually, let me go back to town quick. And since we already have 1 iron ring, these are 3 scrolls. I do not have 3 scrolls, but I should have some in a second. I will take Decoy Totem here and sell this stuff for more scraps. Actually, you can sell blacksmith whetstones for wisdom scrolls.
Hello.
Which makes this a little bit easier. So we're gonna get our 2nd iron ring for a little bit more damage. And she has belts, one with 21%. You know what, let's take it.
Take care.
Isn't really necessary, but I'm confident that we'll find some stuff to sell to make up for it, and this will speed us up a little bit because we will have more damage. This already looks better. So in this area, there's 2 things we can do. We can either rush on a portal. We can either rush to the next zone, which is going to be. We have to find this little bridge. Or we could go to the flooded depths, where we can get basically do a quest for a skill point. But this faster way is to just leave a portal here and actually go to the next zone. So you can see here's the bridge. So if you're on the bridge and you haven't found the flooded depths, they're going to be somewhere further back. The flood depths are always before this little bridge thing. So let's keep leveling our gems. We also have another skill point to spend, which we're gonna do in a second. Oops, that's a dead end. There's a rare enemy which we can kill. Also, is this a blue pack? Yes, it is a blue pack. So we can try and kill all of these at once. Get a level up. Leveling up in the fight is very nice because it gives you full life. Oh, I got frozen. Get this stuff up. But luckily our flask, which we found, has immunity to freeze and chill, which just saved our ass. Now we can allocate the next 2 points. We're gonna go to the right side here. There's a large mana, which I'm gonna take. Now, I'm probably gonna stop killing like these little stranglers, except if there is a really nice big pack or a blue pack of monsters. And we actually found an essence here, which I'm going to do because it's of greed. Which could be painful. Yes, it is painful. Very painful. But we'll try to get him down anyway.
Practice makes
Very
perfect.
nice. Slender cap. Now, essences used to be a league earlier. Essentially, they're crafting materials. Come on. Keep missing. And as you can see, depending on what item type you use them, they're going to give you various results. Essentially, they're like an alchemy orb. I guess I didn't explain these yet. But we'll get to crafting in a second, so don't worry. There's a short bow. No good links though. Gonna leave it for now, try to stick with what we have. Now I'm trying to kite these guys a little bit. Simply to be shooting behind me, because they will be grouped up nicely. So let's do this. Got the chest, nothing in it.
Warrior.
Now these are masters. This one's Haku. I mean, I guess I could explain it now, but the system is going to be gone in 3.5, like in a week or so. Masters essentially grant you crafting benches for your hideout. Once you reach, once the master reaches level 3, mine's already maxed out because I'm an idiot and I didn't do solo self-mode league. You start at level 1, and whenever you do their quest, they get some experience. And once a master reaches level 3, you will be able to get your own hideout from him. So let's just go here. Kill some of these. There's a short bow, which we do not want. Oh, let's not die. You could use a bigger life flask. But we managed to survive. And we're off to the next zone.
God bless you on this fine day.
This is Arion, he's another master. Let's try and take the shrine, which will also speed things up a little bit for us. And let's not die. These guys hurt a lot with their jumps. Level up saved us. Let's just go through here. You can skip this waypoint, but for the sake of completion I will take it anyway. Oh, very nice. There's a freeling short bow, as well as an orb of transmutation. Bit low on flask charges. I still got baited. Now I'm not gonna kill this guy, especially with all his friends around. Because they are going to wreck me in a second. Now coming up here is this little event with all these goats, and then comes Master Goat and kills them all. You have to kill this guy on your first playthrough and free an NPC that is in there. Oh shit. I'm dead. I'm as good as that. Yep. Death incoming. No, I got my flask charges. Jesus. I think he just missed. The gloves. These two
My
things.
spirit is spent.
Jesus. Come on. Oh, you hurt. Okay, medium life flask. Perfect. And there's a blue pack. Which I don't really want to fight right now with that. Oh, fuck me, man. Rayclass is brutal. So let's get back there quickly. Luckily it wasn't that far away. It's level 7, what level are we? 7 as well. Wow! Why do you hurt so much? Fast attack, frenzious damage, okay. Resist sliding. Jesus, boys. Boys. Not cool.
I
Do you want this helmet?
light.
Wow, really? So, next zone, the lower prison.
It's to be a cage fight then. I can live with that.
We will grab the waypoint here and go straight back to town. Just to sell some stuff, as well as... Oh shit, I forgot. We're gonna go back to the Submerged Passage now. Remember where we left our portal? And just go back in here. You can do this as soon as you enter Ledge and have grabbed the waypoint there. And I was talking and I forgot. Power of Transmutation, very nice. Don't freeze me, please. 2-point arrow quiver, which I cannot take. It's basically the same as mine. Let's
Needs to be a little more
switch.
depth to use this.
What? 26 stacks, okay. Let's take the flask, take the scroll, as well as our next point. So, skill tree wise, we took the first note for the physical damage, the second one, and then we go over to here through these life nodes, grab this one little attack speed node, and then we take Art of the Gladiator, which gives us attack speed, global accuracy rating, ignore all movement penalties from armor, which at this point would allow us to equip a chest without the movement penalty. But since we don't have one, it doesn't matter. We take this point anyway because we need it later on. And just check some of this stuff here. Do I have a rare? Some rare gloves. Let's check this hood. This cold res, which I'm even going to prefer over this rare item. Let us find Mr. Dweller. Scepter. But these little crabs, once you shoot off their shell, the smaller foam comes out. Gripper decoy. Put the Molten Strike in here. Get rid of this one. We can put this one on in our offhand. And grab the scepter. Now, where did my main split arrow go? Here. Which I'm now actually going to put down here. So we can get our onslaught buff. The shrine is very helpful. So in here we just want to find the Dweller and then get out of here again. Okay, we just checked the wrong side basically. So let's just try to speed run through here. There's a nice pack of mobs which we're going to kill. He should be around here somewhere. Yep, there he is. Very nice. So let's just kill the big crab daddy. And maybe not dying here, safety portal. Another medium life flask, very nice. I have this one here. Something's still shooting me. Do I need these two? I do not need these two. Let's take this one instead. And go back. So now we have 2 medium flasks, but no wisdom scrolls.
You managed to kill it.
Cannot take the reward yet because my inventory is full, but we can sell an armor scrap for 2 and a blacksmith for 4, giving us 6 wisdom scrolls, which is very nice. This is, by the way, the most common way of getting wisdom scrolls. Later on in the game, you're not picking wisdom scrolls up ever, simply because it's really inefficient to do so. You just pick up, like I said, blacksmiths and armorers and sell these to the vendor and get your scrolls by selling these way faster than by picking up the wisdom scrolls by themselves. Now again, no boots here, but let's get our reward, which I cannot get. Just a second. Alright, I need to ID these. Remove bleeding, that's perfect. Now, anything else I want to equip? Let's equip this. Get a reward, which gives us another point. We now have 2. And we're gonna go for the projectile damage over here. Yes. And now we have a tough choice. I don't think I'm ever gonna use LMP, so I would rather take Edit Fire. Molten Strike, won't need that for now.
Goodbye.
And I should have a stash somewhere that I could use for this. So angry at myself that I didn't, that I accidentally selected the regular league. Oh, this is all gonna be full. God damn it. Okay, I can do it in here. Let me just sort this stuff over to the left hand side so that we do not confuse it with anything. Let's get these 2 over here as well. Can block this last spot with a flask. No. Can actually do this and get Molten Strike in there. And now we have a stash good to go. So let's move this one over. And this will be basically our stash for this run.
Hello.
So we can sell this. This is decent, but we're gonna sell it anyway. Sell all the other stuff. There's another ring
Goodbye.
that I didn't stash. Grab the bigger mana flask. Stash these. Now this essence, what does it give? It gives life on armor, flask recovery rate on belt, life regen on jewelry, and on weapons and quivers, attack damage leached as life. Now our physical damage is so low currently that the leech is not going to do much for us. I just switched the quiver from the other bow to this one because it has more physical damage. This is 5 to 13 and this one has 6 to 16. And I'm going to use this transmutation orb on it. Now what transmutations do is they transform white items or normal items into magic items. We got some cold damage and accuracy, which, yeah, that's fine. Now just to show you, this is like all the crafting currency you can get. If I had an alteration, which I do not, I just don't want to take it from here, because this is a new league and we don't have any stuff yet. I could use an alteration to re-roll this item again with random stats in hopes of getting something better. As well as I could use a regal orb, to turn this blue item into or this magic item into a rare item. It's what this item says, upgrades a magic item to a rare item. Now, regal orbs are not very common, you won't find them that often, so usually it's worth to save them up and use them on something where you're really sure that you want to upgrade it to a rare item. Alchemies are more common, so once you find a good base, like with the links that you need, or just the perfect base that you would like to craft up, you would use an alchemy on it, going from a white item to a rare item. So you can do that. So this is basically how you craft things in PoE, which is with all these little currencies. Now we don't have that much yet, so we'll just continue. Got some cold damage though, which is decent. Now, we don't need this portal anymore. We're just gonna go straight back to the prison, because we have already done the quest in there. Now, in here, when it is your first playthrough, you will notice that it says, for me it says enter the labyrinth of the Sarn encampment, because I have already done the trials on this account, or in this league. Nice coral ring, amulet, and another bow. And the fusing, awesome. Now, when you're starting a league, in here there is a so-called Trial of Ascendancy, and this quest will say complete the trial in this area, something along those lines. And I'll just show you where it is. Maybe we'll even do one quickly if I happen to go past it. Okay, this is a dead end, it seems. Let's just kill these guys, because they're blocking the door. So it is going to be on the other side. Now you have to complete, for the first one, I think it's 6. Is it 6 trials? I think so. In order to be able to enter the labyrinth. And what the lab is, essentially, is it's an area where you have to find the boss in there, which you will fight 3 times in total in order to ascend. You will get your first ascendancy, changing like your base class basically, or augmenting it even further. It's like getting your first specialization points for your class. Now I could go to the exit, this orange marker, but this book tells me that most likely the trial is going to be over here, and yes it is. So let's just run this one quick, just to show you. Now whenever you see these holy parts, like the parts with the holes in the ground, it means that there's going to be spikes coming out of these. We need to pull this lever and run back. Be careful that you have enough life flasks. If you do, you can just simply stand in these. If you don't, there's this little safe spots which you can wait until the spikes pass. And that's it. That's the first trial done. No, it isn't. Because we just opened this door, and usually you would have to go through here. Now see how these always spawn across, so once the spikes hide, you can use the area as a safe spot, they alternate. And the good thing is it also hurts the monsters of the area if they go over a trap.
My spirit is spent.
There's a chest, and you have to click this portal, this plague, and as you can see, prison completed. And then you have 5 more areas which you need to do in order to gain entry to the lab for the first time. Once you have done this on the character though, so like if you have done the lab on your first character and you level your second character, you will not need to do the trials again. They're league specific. So once you have done them in one league, all your next characters will have access to the labyrinth as well. So this is upper prison. Let's try to speed up a little bit, because this is always going to be a 4-hour long video. What we could do is grab one of these crude bows and try to craft another one. Also, let me ID this chest. Life, fire damage, vis reflect, not good. But since we do not have our movement penalty anymore because we got Art of the Gladiator, we can equip a chest and not worry about it. So movement speed is gonna stay the same. Let's hold up with the point. So what level am I? I'm level 9. Maybe I should grind up a little bit to at least have level 10 before we go and kill Brutus. Didn't do all too much killing in here, which potentially could make him a little bit tougher. There's a skill gem that dropped for us, but we don't need that. Serrated Hour Quiver, very nice. Large mana, gimme. Nothing in here. Over there is just Haku. There's a blue pack, very nice. Blue pack, even 2 blue packs, wonderful. Blue packs really give good experience, so they're always worth killing. There's our level up. Let's get out of here. Let's go kill Brutus. Now once you enter the Warden's quarters, you can see this bloody path on the floor here. You can basically follow that path. Once you pass through here, you can always take a left back to here and go through this door, and you will see that the bloody path should start right here again. Yes, and you can just follow this path and it will lead you straight to the Warden's chamber. I think it's the Warden's chamber, right? So follow the blood. Yeah, the Warden's chamber. And there he is, big boy. Well, that hurt. Let's try to avoid a little more of his shit. Don't really want to face tank all of that. There's some skeletons, which is very nice, because this essentially allows us to gain some flask charges back. And at this point, oh, maybe not.
My spirit is spent.
I wanted to say we should be able to face tank him. And there he's down.
Skill beats size every time.
Ah, here's a long bow, a short bow.
I believe in traveling light.
Let's check out this one. Lightning damage, lightning resistance. Not really. Level 8, level 8. Get rid of one of these. If you find sapphire rings, meaning ones with cold resistance, you should really keep them. Because there's a boss coming up which does a lot of cold damage. Nope. Let's check these.
I believe in traveling light.
Shut up. Strength and life and rarity. Very nice. as well as another chest with fire res and intelligence. Not really. So maybe try this 2 to 5 fizz, crit multi. Yeah, I'll take this over our current bow. Get these boots, headshot, leather cap, nothing else. Now this is another area where you can just simply log out and not use portal scrolls. So let's talk to Nessa, level this up, talk to Tarkly, and here we're going to take our first movement skill, which is Blink Arrow. Let's grab that. We have Onslaught, Split Arrow with added fire. That still doesn't do anything for us. Passive points. So I would personally go for more life. If you're not feeling comfortable. I feel somewhat comfortable, so I'm just going to go for more damage and continue pathing downwards here. We will be grabbing these life nodes later, and in the beginning it is also nice to maybe grab these two because they give you 15 all res in total for just 2 points. We will be pathing this way anyway because we want to grab the life leech nodes here and the vitality void, as well as this little node, which will also grant us some mana leech, and we will maybe be able to get rid of the mana flasks. So yes, we want to confirm these points. And, oh no, not Prisoner's Gate, I should sell my stuff.
Still alive, are we?
Now, let me equip this one. Take the decoy. Do I have a red socket? I do not. So let's keep him for a sec. Identify these two. Hope for movement speed, which we did not get. But I will swap these in. A, because they have all res and a decent life roll. Also they have more sockets, and especially a red one, which allows me to equip my decoy totem. Still no movement speed boots. Let's sell this other stuff. Now the reason why I'm keeping my flasks, I will show you in a second. We got our first alchemy orb, which is very nice. Also we still have 1 armorers, which I'm gonna sell for wisdom scrolls. We even found a fusing orb. So let's store this in here, fusing as well. How do I want to do this? I haven't had the situation of not having a currency tab for, I don't know, forever. Get this over here. It's our second alteration actually. Now the reason why I'm keeping these flasks is because once you have 3 of the same kind, like my mana flasks here, you can go to Nessa or any vendor, and instead of having to buy a flask, like this medium life flask or anything else, you can just sell 3 of the same kind for an upgrade to the next higher tier. But we're not gonna do that because this is level 12. We still need our flasks, or at least one of them, and so we're just holding on to the others so we could upgrade our life flasks. We can sell these because we're not gonna upgrade any of these anyway, since we already have 2 medium flasks. And this will save us or free up a few slots.
Take care.
Grab these scrolls. I'll keep the essence with me, just in case we get lucky. Let's go. Prisoner's Gate. Now in here you can basically just follow the road for the most part. But I do actually want to kill this blue pack here. Just because we're starting to get a little bit on the level, I think. I mean, I'm level 10, it's okay. Oh, nice. There's a first shark tooth quiver. We're keeping that. Now we've killed Merveil, but we are still not level 12. So let's try to get a few levels in here before we reach the next zone. Maybe kill this rare monster with all his buddies here. Get the onslaught going. There's actually 2 rare enemies in here. Kill this guy, large life flask. Now, very often people have the question of which gear should I be picking up? And in the beginning I would say pick up anything that you don't have a proper slot for, or like especially stuff for your weakest slot. So that right now I have still normal gloves, so whenever I would find magic or rare ones I would pick those up. Same with the rings and my amulet. Now for your main weapon you constantly want to try to find something better, so I would always pick up especially rare versions of weapons that you can use, and so try to get everything to at least magic quality, and from there to rare. And once you have all the rare stuff you need, I mean, you can still continue picking up blue items, especially early on in the game, simply to be able to sell them to the vendor for some transmutation shards. But then try to pick up less and less just to save time, while still having enough stuff to sell. Like, I'm not talking, you can go back with a full inventory, but you don't have to each time. I wouldn't try to do extra rounds of searching for stuff only to go back with a full inventory. And most people in the League start just want to press on as fast as possible into the later content and get the story done as fast as possible, to just to get into maps and progress
I almost feel sorry for these
and get to end game as fast as they can. So now we're in the ship graveyard. There's 2 quests that we can do here. Like right here above, we're gonna see Fairgraves, which we could talk to because he has a quest for us. But the way quests work in Path of Exile is that you don't have to accept them in order to be able to complete them. What I'm meaning by that is, as long as you know where to find the item or the enemy that you need to kill for a specific quest, you can simply just head straight there do what is required and then come back to the quest giver, to the NPC, with the quest already finished, which basically just saves you time running to him and then running back to him again. Another Quicksilver. What the hell is going on, man? That's really nice. Another large one. Do I want the brown stamp? I do not. That is really nice. Let me chance it. Knockback to melee attacks, not really good. It's a blue ghost pack, which I'm gonna kill. So we could do this little side quest in here, which is to find the cave and get the All Flame for Fairgraves, our old pirate buddy. Okay, instead we found the Val Zone, which I'm gonna do, because I would do it at the start of the league. Val Zones are like corrupted zones, which have a specific enemy at the end, as well as they can drop corrupted gear or currency. They can drop corrupted gear, and what corrupted gear does is it can roll stuff that you usually cannot roll in other means. But the downside is that you cannot, after you have corrupted an item, or if it drops corrupted, you cannot modify it further. It's locked in its state once it is corrupted. Now there are zones, like these Val zones, that drops corrupted stuff. As well as there's currency, which is called the Val Orb. Let's try not die here. Which lets you corrupt an item. And corrupting an item has a few specific outcomes. It's a rare bow, which is very nice. I'm going to check that immediately. And it's very good. Yep, it basically doubles our current damage. Now, what you're looking for in bows is a high increased physical damage roll, especially the percent one, which this one, it's decent, it's fine. As well as flat added damage, like non-percental damage to preferably physical, but we got lightning damage and some additional accuracy, which is good, it's nice. And yeah, especially the increased physical damage roll should be as high as you can get it. So yeah, that was very lucky. And as you can see, it helps a lot with our current damage situation. So back to corrupted items. Say you have a unique item and it has a certain amount of links on it and they are linked, and you basically want to gamble. It's essentially what Val Orbs are. You can potentially make your item better, or as people say, you can also brick it, and bricking essentially means that you have ruined the item. Now always make sure to click these little pylons when you finish the Val Zone. And I got another Quicksilver Fluff. I cannot believe it. So what do we have here? Rare boots with no movement speed again. What the F? Val Arc, Val Ice Nova. Now Val skills are corrupted skills, which are essentially like an enhanced version of the regular version, but they let you... Do I have a blue socket? I do, but there's not enough int for me to use this one. Can I use this one yet? No, I cannot. 33 int. Do I have int somewhere? Do you have int? No. Never mind. I would have showed you. And then basically, like, you can use both versions of the skill. And the Vol version is like a more powerful version, having more, maybe sometimes a special effect added to it. But you cannot use it all the time. You have to kill a certain amount of monsters, basically fueling up that Vol version of the skill before you can use it again. The regular version you can use all the time as long as you have mana or whatever resource you are using. Oh, there was a quiver in there. God damn it. But the Vol skill needs to be charged up before it can be used again. Now, the only exception to this is boss fights. There's a Sapphire again. I already have one, but this one is with 30, which I'm gonna take. As boss fights, when you're fighting a boss, this also lets you recharge your Vol skills. 28, 22. I might even go with this one. So right here is the Cavern of Wrath. That's the next area that we're gonna go into. But we can grab this waypoint here and use it to go back to town, since we have already found the cave. Check this big flask here, it's level 12, which means we can use it. I'm gonna switch this one out, because this flask has removed bleeding, which can be very handy.
Welcome.
So let's ID this one. 28 life, cold res, lightning res. Should be better than our current chest. Yes, it is. So, yeah, I cannot equip it because I'm talking to the vendor. And as well as I do not have enough intelligence for it. Socketed cold gem, spell damage. This is decent for a caster if you're using cold skills. Whenever you get +1 level, especially for casted skills, for spells, it's gonna go a long way. Adding levels to spells is more powerful than having levels on attack gems, because attack gems like my split arrow, you can see here it deals 94% of base damage, meaning that every skill that has the... I'm pointing on my screen as if you could see it. As soon as it has the attack tag underneath the name split arrow, you can read attack, projectile, bow. When it says attack, it means that this gem is going to scale based off the damage of your weapon. Currently 94% of base damage, so it's going to take your damage of your weapon and work off of that. Spells, on the other hand, like Ice Nova here, for example, you can see it has a spell tag. Those scale by themselves all the way down. You can see it deals 15 to 21 cold damage, 40% more damage when cast on Frostbolt. Now this number that deals 15 to 21 cold damage will increase by itself with every level that the skill gem gets. Which, if you would use it in this wand, you can see that it has now +1 level, and it now deals 19 to 27 cold damage instead of 15 to 21. So this is why plus levels for leveling on caster items is worth it so much. Let me just sell this stuff here. I'll keep the Cellar Life Flask. I can upgrade my mana flask since it's gonna be level 12. Very nice. That equipped already. Do I want the vault skills? I do not need the vault skills, so I'm just gonna sell them. I'll just sell this as well. I'll keep the rustic sash because it lets me do a vendor recipe. Let's pop these guys in. I'm keeping this quiver because, as I said, I'm gonna need it for a recipe.
If you must take her
Nessa is now going to give us Rain of Arrows, which we're going to take, and we're going to replace not Onslaught but Split Arrow with Rain of Arrows, which is going to be our main skill for the most part going forward. So we have 3 points, which we are going to go over here with, so we can grab these notes next. Anything else? Reward? No. Now, when it comes to skill gems, you can see that usually she would sell us just like her regular stuff, like belts and flasks, jewelry and stuff. But what most people don't realize is that she has a second tab where you can buy all the other gems that all the other classes would have gotten at this point of the game. So let me see if we need anything from here actually. We have the decoy totem, which I do not have on my bar where I would want it to be. So we have the decoy, we as well have our blink arrow now, which I almost forgot. Anything else? Molten shell? No. I think we're just gonna get heralds at level 16. Yeah. Oh, nothing for us here. I mean, you could very well level on with Split Arrow, it's fine, but Rain of Arrows is going to have better single target damage than Rain of Arrows, than Split Arrow. Also, if you can afford it, which I currently cannot because I have no transmutations, nope, no transmutes,
Hello.
we are going to need, let's buy 2. Buy a transmute. We're going to need a second Rain of Arrows, which is why I'm going to buy this one. Just put it in my stash. You will very soon see why. Actually, I'm level 12. Do you have
Little help I can offer is yours.
an Onyx amulet? No, you do not.
We are blessed.
God damn it. God damn it, Nessa.
Composing that poem about you.
So, we need an Onyx amulet. But first, we're gonna go back here. Enter the ship graveyard again. By the way, on all of these transitions, as well as on the waypoint, when you select the zone, you can hold control and click. This will open this dialog window. Now, as you can see here, it only says new, because it's too long ago that we have been here that the instance would still be open. You can check the ship graveyard and we can see that this is the zone where we basically, when we came through here, that's a zone that we used. If I go in here now, you can see that it's going to be discovered, because we've been through here. If we wanted to, and this is how you farm certain zones later on, I could control-click on this and make a new instance, which would basically reset the zone. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go back straight in and change this to Rain of Arrows, and this is our skill now. Now, the only thing I'm wondering, I should probably head down there. So as you can see, this helps with single and multi-target immensely. Rain of Arrows is a very nice skill to level with. And I think it's gonna be over there. God damn it. So I could really use an Onyx Amulet. That would be perfect.
This'll do nicely, Exile.
What the hell? This is a super weird layout. Is it? No, it cannot be to the right. I refuse to believe. Because then... where the hell? I mean, we actually do not need to do this right now. But for the sake of competition, I wanted to. Is it up there? Wow. Really? Yep. Yep. We got trolled hard. Got trolled really hard with this layout. Oh, actually, I did forget to grab another gem. Just reminded myself. Would I have the links for it? Not currently. There's a rare Shaktiv Quiver, which I like a lot. Fire, lightning.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Nothing special damage wise. But it has some bonus stats that we can use. Oh, there's the exclamation mark. That's our quest. We inspect the slave girl, grab the old flame. We can kill this stuff, you don't have to. A rare sapphire, very nice. And an alteration. Let's check this one out. End cold damage, fast speed. It's not fancy, but it's gonna get the job done. It's 29 as well. We can sell this one. Anything else I want to do? No. So now, do we want to run this stuff? Because we could run to Fairgraves, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna log out here and not begin. Go to the waypoint, go back to the graveyard. Our instance is still open, which means we can just run along to Fairgraves. And as you can see, we have our movement skill now, which we have picked up before, and I completely forget. It's Blink Arrow, which allows us to skip little nasty parts and speeds us up a little bit. So we killed Fairgraves.
It's not every day that I get to do the
He
legend.
didn't give us anything. I'm gonna take this stuff in order to sell it. So we can make our way back to the waypoint. Go back to town. I'll stash this quiver as well.
Yes?
Sell this other stuff. 'Cause I'm not gonna use it. The chest requires int. It is nice, I like, so I'm gonna equip this ring. Be able to equip the chest. Sell this stuff. Skill point for some life leech.
Hello.
And now we can check the vendors again because we've leveled up, which means that their inventory has reset. And here I want to buy Mirage Archer, which I completely forgot. I don't currently have the links to use it, but it doesn't matter. And since we did the Fairgrave's quest, we get an extra skill point. And put it right here. Now I'm still going to check this vendor. He has a superior longbow. I would rather take short bows because they have a faster attack speed. These are 1.5 and this one has 1.3 attacks. But beggars can be choosers. Is this how the saying goes? Still no movement speed boots. What did this essence do on armor again? It gave life. These have life and cold damage. This is an evasion base. Do I want these? Level 13 and 14.
Still alive, are we?
I don't know, not really. Do I have an alchemy shard orb? I do not. No alchemy yet. Oh, let me actually carry these with me. We have a chaos orb. Doesn't help us much, but it's something. Okay. Ooh, I know what we can do. We can fancy up a little. Since we do have all the equipment slots. It's this one. Oh. Fancy schmancy. Let's go with a different portal effect. And maybe some footprints. Do I want some glowy stuff? Can do some glowy stuff, different helmets. No. Maybe blue. Too holy. Commission. Jesus. Yeah, I like that. Which headpiece do I want? Let's just stick with this one. Never mind, let's go. Better than nothing. Base cables. Do I want Onslaught? No, you know what? No, I should have Onslaught. Should really be using Onslaught, because it's gonna speed us up quite a lot. Dead end. Let's check up here. Can I do this skip?
I can't do this.
Is there a skip? There is no skip. Armors, very nice. Another Shaktiv Quiver, very nice. These. An Onyx Amulet would really be nice. The jewelry is really not that common in this game. So as well as crafting your gear, I would much rather craft jewelry pieces like rings and amulets and belts and stuff. Well, maybe not belts, but primarily rings and amulets, because they just do not drop as often as like armor, for example. So just go into the next zone. Always grab the armor scraps. Are we looking for wisdom scrolls? We have 2. Got our onslaught. Let's keep going. Here's the blue pack. Kill that. Chest. Here's the boss of this area. Let's just kill her quickly. Composite bow. It's another rare enemy.
My spirit is spent.
And you can see the rain of arrows really is nice for as well as single target as killing groups of monsters. Pick up the rare stuff. It's a dead end? No, we're good. Now, coming up here in Mervale's lair is Mervale. She's the boss of this zone, and she does a shit ton of cold damage. So I'm going to equip my cold resistance rings, which is basically going to cap me out on cold res. 75 is the cap. So we should have no problem face tanking here. Plant down our decoy totem. So she's busy, she's gonna be busy with that. And just go to town. Well, decoy totem makes life really easy. Especially when it comes to bosses where you're all alone. Now she has her second phase. It's the hentai phase. Watch out not to stand in those gazers for too long, especially if your cold res isn't that high. Basically, she was the only reason why I was keeping
Ladies first, fair Mervale.
these cold rings all the time. I'm gonna switch back out of this one. Grab what we can get. We're actually quite full. Could go out here. We could also log out. Doesn't really matter. Now I'm just gonna jump into town quickly and sell this stuff, because I do want to have some currency, as well as check this helmet. Sucked minion gems, live, cold lightning res. I like that quite a lot, but it disables my chest, which I do not like. So let's just sell this stuff. Now I would be getting more if I was IDing these blues, but I'm so starved for wisdom scrolls that I'm not gonna do that. Actually, how much does the transmute give? It gives us 2. On the shards, we can sell these, and we can sell the armor scraps. So we now have 6 wisdoms, which is fine. Can live with that. Well, these are actually not quests from these guys right now. They just basically have some more lore. As well as this Feated Pool quest. It's basically going to give you a refund point, a respect point, which we don't really need at the moment. So I'm just leaving that. Put the quiver back here and grab this point first before going for the big one, because this gives us some mana leech. Just going to make life a little bit easier, especially on mana. And let's keep that. Maybe we can find something else that has intelligence on it. Like our belt is super trash. Well, at least some cold. Did I grab that or did I find that? Is it missing in my chest? Did I by accident grab... Did that drop? No, that didn't drop, right? Nope, I took it out of the chest. So let's just do this. I have 5 alterations. Oh, I could have gone for... you know what, let's try on the boots. Like 1 or 2 times. 4 life. And perfect, thank you. Now we can switch that. Blink arrow. Just gonna get plus levels from the helmet and decoy totem. Good, good, good. Do I have my Mirage Archer somewhere? Did I buy it? Did I buy it? Did I stash it? What did I do with it? I didn't buy it. Did I? God damn it. Yes, it's here. Okay. At least it's leveling. Let's go. Act 2. Here we go. 1 hour 48, Act 1. God damn it. It's like my worst time ever. Talking really doesn't help. So let's just maybe see that we get through Act 2 a little bit quicker. Other than that, this is going to be a very long video. Nothing special here. Just get through it. Kill some monkeys. Level your gems. Find the exit. Now this zone... 2-point quiver. This zone used to be quite easy in terms of which way you wanted to go to find the exit, but I think they've added a few layouts recently. Like when you would get to this narrow passage, this would usually mean that you found the exit. No fucking way. Nice. But they changed it. And it's a dead end now. But we got a unique quiver. Projectile speed, stun duration, adds fizz damage to bow attacks. Very nice. Is it an upgrade? 58, 42. Yes, it is. Very nice. What would this give us? Knife, throw it. Nope. Nice. We have an upgrade. Found a unique quiver. Well, that kind of takes a little bit of excitement away from the recipe that I wanted to show you guys. Especially since on the other, and on my solo cell phone stash, I have prepared some stuff for it, so I could show you the recipe quicker. But yeah,
Exiles.
not gonna go back now. Let's see if she has onyx amulets. Of course she doesn't, because why would she? But let's check another thing. Let us check onyx amulets. Oops, onyx. A little typo. Is there a recipe? Memory of Brutus Act 7. No. So you cannot get an onyx in a different way other than finding the base. God damn it. God damn it, game. So I think I'm gonna start off to the right. Now coming up here in Act 2 is a so-called Bandit Quest. If you go to the right, you can basically just follow the road. Bad monkey. You can basically just follow the road to get to the next area. There is a little quest in here, which is to find the den and kill the big bear in there. I'm not 100% sure what it has as a reward. I think they've changed that. It might be a belt though. And since my belt is really shitty, and here's an essence, which I'm gonna do. You have to click them 3 times, by the way, to activate them. And we found the den as well, very nice. Since my belt is so shit, I think I'm gonna run this quickly, as well as a strong box, very nice. Now be careful when clicking these strong boxes, as you could read on it. This one would have frozen me. I was only so confident to click it without checking it first, because I have my flask that removes freeze from me, or just prevents me straight up from being frozen if I have it running. So now we grab this one here. So if you do not have a flask that grants you freeze immunity, composite, do I want any of these? It's 26. You believe in traveling light. It's decent. I don't need the shields. What about the... Oh no. God damn it. I don't need this. I'm not gonna take the bow. Never mind. Superior added lightning. What superior means on items, and I'm sure you have come across this before. Stuff like gems and armor, armor, weapons, anything else, maps later on. All these items can have quality. In the case of gems, what quality does, it adds some extra effect to them. Like this added lightning has 12%, and it doesn't add to the base damage. It doesn't change the 1 to 8 added lightning damage, but it has added deals 6% increased lightning damage. 6% increase wouldn't have been there if it was a gem without quality. So even though it is an increased lightning, it is not a more lightning damage, and I'll explain that also in a second. If you stack those up, they They can make quite a difference in terms of damage. So here's the Great White Beast that we need for a quest. Just kill him quickly. Our Mana Leech does a little bit something for us, but we're going to really start feeling it a little bit later on when we do more damage ourselves, that this Leech is really going to carry us, and we won't be needing a Mana Flask anymore. So instead of just going back to town, I will just continue here to the next zone, which is the Crossroads. And simply by following the roads straight ahead, you can create a life flask. You can find the waypoint of this area. Now, I see that we have a Val zone to the right here. You can see it on the minimap, this red gem looking thing, which I'm very tempted. Yeah, wait a second, I should have done that while passing it. I'm just gonna do this, head to the waypoint, grab the waypoint, go back to town, sell the shits that we got, check the chest, and that's crap, check the boots, movement speed, finally, but I'm pretty sure I will not have the intelligence for them, so I'll stick to keep this helmet still. What's with this quiver? Life, fire, lightning, nope. Purchase, do I have anything? Nope. Maybe a chest with free link? Do I want it? I do not have a transmit anyway, so I do not want it. Now let's equip these. This will give us some movement speed. Pop these gems in there. We lost some intelligence on the boots. Do I need the helmet? Yes, I do for the chest. So let's keep that. Sell this. Sell that. Won't be needing the cold rings anymore. So we can just get rid of these. The coral is super low level, so we'll just sell that one as well. We can be leveling that actually. Archer. Do I have another skill gem? Split arrow, green. Nope, nothing I can support them with. Okay, and now we can take the portal that we just set up and go straight into the Law Zone. Open empty inventory. There's a composite ball. The helmet. Like from this point I will mostly be picking up rare stuff. Now usually you could use a wisdom scroll and ID the chest to see what's in it. I'm just gonna click it. Feeling pretty confident at the moment. Another composite ball, some blacksmiths. I'll take the ring and take some of the smaller items. Just not to clutter up my inventory. Level low gems. Now the boss here is going to be really annoying. He has this bubble, which is a proximity shield, meaning that he can only be damaged when you're standing in his proximity shield. And he likes to run away, so he can be quite a nuisance. Get the belt, get the power scroll, and check this one out. Molten shell, while spectral throw. Not really useful for us.
I believe light.
No space for these suckers. I'll take the weapon. Since we're gonna pass by the waypoint yet again. Can I take the shoes? No, I cannot. Get out of here. And let's go back to the waypoint, to town.
What do you want?
I wanna check this. Is it better than this one? No, it's not. What about the iron ring? It has dexterity. That is some fire res. Sell the blue stuff. ID the rare stuff and sell it then. Because we slowly want to be moving to Orbs of Alteration to get more of these. But the Spectral Fall is 12%, which is nice. This didn't have any quality, but this will allow me to show you something later on. I will keep them. Now, what about flasks? Level 12. I think the next one's on level 18. Now we have the choice of grabbing these life notes or continuing on. And I think I'm gonna continue. I feel pretty confident with the life that we have now. So let's just go to the Crossroads. Right, I was talking about bandits before. Now here like to you have 3 zones which you can find a bandit in. One is to the right over here. Going to the broken bridge. And 2 are found when you exit the town to the left-hand side. What's with the quicksilvers on this playthrough? I actually wouldn't have to pick it up, but whatever. And depending on what you do with the bandits, you can kill them all 3, or you can side with one of them and basically spare them. And depending on which version you choose, you will get a different reward. Now here you just want to follow the way, the path to find the waypoint, and we will continue following the path. It's not the fastest way, but it's the safest way of finding the next zone, finding the bandit. Depending on which bandit you side with, you get a different reward. If you kill them all, the NPC in town who gave you the quest is going to give you 2 extra skill points. If you decide to side with one of these, like you have here the option here, kill or help. Each one of them is, if you help Kraden, you will be permanently granted 6 increased attacking cast speed, 3 chance to dodge attack hits, 6% increased movement speed. Now, the other 2, you can just go to the POV key. POV key, by the way, is your best friend. Bandit reward. Deal with the bandits is the name of the quest. And if you look here, depending on which one you choose, so we saw Kraden, there was that. Then we have Alira, who's going to give you 5 mana regenerated per second, 20 global crit multi, and most importantly, 15% to all elemental resistances. Now this one is really big if you're leveling. It's going to help you out with mana. The crit multi, yeah, maybe some min-maxing later on could be important, but not really. If you would go just for damage, you would take the 2 skill points from killing them all. But 15 all res really helps you out with gearing, especially later on. Once you finish Act 5, you get a penalty of -30 all resistance, and once you finish Act 10, you get -30 again. So once you reach maps, to reach your cap of 75% for every resistance, you in fact need 135 because you get a penalty for 60. So when it comes to gearing, especially after finishing the story, having helped Alira, it's really gonna make gearing easier. Once you have good gear, the +15 is not going to be that important because you probably have enough resistance on your gear anyway, but this is a thing to consider, or at least something to take to help you out. Now with this quest, if you pick something and later on you go, oh shit, I wish I would have taken the other one, you can always change that. There is a Book of Reform you can get, and depending on what recipe you use, you can sell 20 regrets and 1 lapis amulet to any NPC, and this will basically grant you Alira's favor, as it says here, which means it's as if you would have helped Alira or Creighton or Oak, whichever you choose. Or if you say, okay, I've chosen Alira, I don't need her stuff anymore, my gear is way better now, I would actually like to have 2 more extra skill points. You take an Onyx and 20 regrets, and you gain 2 skill points. Which is what I'm going to do here. So I'm killing Creighton. Who can be a tanky boy. So we take his amulet and we log just to save a portal scroll. Now we're back in town, and as I said before, we have 3 flasks gathered, which we actually do not need, so we will just sell them to basically be ready for level 18, and we can instantly equip a new flask. What do I do for these quicksilvers, man? I don't need them. I could sell them, not really sure. I'll keep the highest item level one because they can roll different stuff depending on their item level. Also, I don't have any IDs, so I'll sell the blacksmith whetstone and get 4. This is a quest item. Check the mana flask. Nice. Now this for leveling is something really super useful. If you can get the additional elemental resistances during plastic effect, this is going to help you out a lot. Now you can see here my fire is super low, my cold is super low, my lightning is super low. Actually my cold is okay for now. Later on in the game, especially, when does it really get important? Act 3 probably. Act 3 transitioning into Act 4, you really want to make sure that your resistances are up there. Now we're going to the left, we're just gonna speed on through here. Try to find the exit to the zone. We have a topaz ring here, which is nice, which is lightning. This could be handy. We have a boss coming up that deals a shitload of lightning damage. Or at least most of it is lightning, so that's gonna be helpful. Just trying to follow the road now. This is where movement skills come really handy, that can gap gaps. That can skip over gaps. Greater life flasks, like these. Because they allow you to save a lot of time where you would have normally have to run, you know, all around and stuff. You just skip. And we should get the waypoint somewhere over here. Hello, waypoint. Where are you at? This is the Western Forest. Okay, so the waypoint must have been somewhere over here? What the fuck? Or did I miss it even earlier? Man. Man.
I can't do this just yet.
Shit. It's a strange layout as well. It can't be up here, right? Or would it be? No. I are confused. I are confused. What is this layout here? What's going on? Also, can I please get an Onyx in that? It would be really nice as well. Hello, please. No, not what I wanted. Not what I asked for. Okay, let's do another essence. Even though it's gonna be shit. It's energy shield and spell damage, something we really don't need. Here it is. Okay, so the waypoint is gonna be down here somewhere. Jesus, what is this layout? So we're gonna head up here first. Towards the wetlands. This is where we find our second bandit, namely Oak. Kill this guy. 19, 18, it's good. It's gonna be more to the left somewhere here. Yep, there it is. So in the habit of pushing all my flasks. Well, this item that I just picked up, I'll show in a second. Now you can see it has 3 sockets, blue, red and green, linked together. The linked part is important. Those items are called chromatic because they sell for, I guess, a chromatic orb. And what chromatic orbs allow you to do, crafting wise, wait, just let me plant my totem. Yeah, just gonna leap slam that. What chromatic items allow you to do is basically change the colors on your sockets, which is really important later on. Another shark tooth, only using the onyx. I mean, that's...
Shame we have only the trees for audience.
Now, the waypoint should be somewhere over here. Or actually, probably a tiny bit down here. Oh, it's up there. Now remember when I was talking about quality and that it changes some stuff, like for flasks it can be really important because it extends their duration or the recovery that you get from them. So in the case of this one, it extends the amount recovered. Like you can see the normal one has 360 and this one gets 440 life. But I wouldn't bother crafting flasks until you have your level 60 versions. So right now we're gonna go back to town, take the portal that we left in the riverways and grab the exit. So by leaving this portal here, we basically saved running all this again in the waypoint. So sometimes you can save a lot of time with like smart portal placement. So in here we're trying to find our third bandit. We have a waypoint here, and actually there is an indication for where she's going to be. Now there's two things we want to do here. One, we want to kill the Weaver, which is a big old spider, and you can see when we enter into this part of the map, it has these spider webs on the trees, meaning that this will lead to the Weaver. So we actually want to check the other side, because we're not going to the Weaver yet. We want to kill Alira first, who's our third bandit. And either she's gonna be here, but she is not. But there's a way to find her when you're sticking to the main road. There's going to be like a broken path going away from it, which you can then follow, and this will lead you straight to her camp. You know, it looks like this bricky road. But once you know the layouts a little bit, you don't necessarily need to follow that. So kill her. I was actually considering helping her, but I'm going to kill her. So there's a ruby ring. Now watch out, because she does a corpse explosion. So the longer you take killing her, and the more ads she spawns, which you kill, and she's going to detonate them. It's gonna get harder and harder. So grab these. Now we want to head on further down here, essentially to the end of the road, because we still have our quest from Act 1, which is the way forward, as the exit over there was blocked by piety. And we have to kill these duties here. Kill these boys. Grab that thing, use the seal, don't forget to do that. And now we can head over to this part, kill the red pack, or magic rather. And now we're heading downwards, down here, towards the spidery part, to go and face the Weaver. Oops, on the button. Kill the blue packs, level up, nice. I have quite a few points to spend, but I'm not in a rush to do so. Oh, there's a blue bag which is waiting. I can already see it hanging to the
I believe in
on the
treading light.
ceiling. Okay, we need to play some inventory Tetris. God damn it, Flask. Let's do this and that. Equip the bow. Check the bow. Bow is decent. Bow is decent. Doesn't have all the damage that this one does. It's 35, 20. It has some attack speed. But never mind, not that good. Level gems. Actually, let me... I'll drop the life now, just for safety. And continue down here.
I believe in traveling light.
I was afraid it was gonna happen. Fire, lightning, fist damage. Nope. Check the gloves. The gloves are good. But it's our free link. God damn it, game. So we're gonna have to find another free link for our setup here. So we can then equip these gloves. Did they have attack speed? No, but life and flat fizz. There's also a nice dead end here. It's onslaught. Also a dead end. God damn it, do I have to go all the way back? Why are you doing this to me? When you commit to the wrong path. Oh, that's 3 additional items. But you can see, like, this is a nice example why loot filters are so important, especially when it comes, you know, like to these boxes and bosses and stuff. Like, this is the shit you see. But this is, okay, better example. Like with the other chest, like nothing dropped, right? Yeah, no, wrong. But it's nothing that I would really care to pick up. Oh, nothing here. So the filter did already half the job for us, determining
I
like
believe in traveling light.
what's good, what's not. Oh, let's use this.
What?
Set some stuff because we can really use. Oh, it's a nice rapier. And as I said, chromatic item, blue, red, and green connected gives us a chromatic orb, which is very nice. I might want to use the chest. No, I'm not. I want these. I would like to use, excuse me, this helmet. Let's sell that. But I really need the intelligence on this one. Yeah,
Can't quite get my head around this one.
especially if I would like to use this at some point. Let's grab our 2 skill points from him. So now we're going to head on up here towards this elemental damage cluster, as well as some bow critical strike gems. Yep. Let's go. Now keep these gloves, not about my flasks. I have way too many flasks with me. I can stash these, stash that. Quicksilver. Yet another one. Don't really need the mana flask. I have a Grand Life Flask. Do I have a Transmutation? I do not. Which sucks. What do we do? What do we do? Well, that sucks. I don't have an alchemy, which doesn't help me much at the moment. But what I can do is Krusti. What troubles you bring now? Oh, that's the 15% one. Do I want to sell that? Do I care? It's level 12. I do not care. I'd rather have two big boys. There's not much bleed damage going on right now. I mean, I could keep it for safety. So I can sell this one. Need some alchemies, man. Only 3 links. No 4 links yet. Especially not 4 socket ones. So let's grab a rustic here. Idiot. Realize it's crap. At least reduced flask charges used. A bit more fizz, less life. Undecided. Do we have a quest? No. So let's get back to the Weaver's Chambers. Really hope for an Onyx drop. A Grand Mana Flask, nice. 30 Alres replaces our 23 Alres. So good. So good. But I would much rather prefer to finally find an Onyx Wing. There's the Weaver, plant our totem. Weaver loves the totem. And totem expert super easy. There's an inventory Tetris again. Grab the spike and we have everything we need. So we can just log out port. Talk to Silk. And now we get either faster attacks or early damage with attacks. Or vicious projectiles. Actually, we need all 3 later on. So we're not doing that much elemental damage as of now. So I would rather take the faster attacks for now. Think I can buy the vicious. Yes, I can. And I can buy elemental or fist lightning. We're gonna need both at some point. I'd rather take fist lightning first. Yeah, I can afford all of them anyway, which is nice. So throw that in here. Actually, throw faster attacks in first. Get all of that in. Another red socket. No. Damn, so IDDs. Nope. 25 life and lightning. More armor, which is always nice, but I do not have enough
What
strength.
troubles you bring now?
Sell that. Can I equip the gloves? I can, but I'm still missing the sockets. Damn! Man,
What troubles you?
what the fuck? Now, why am I collecting all these quivers? The reason why I was collecting these quivers was, let me see if we can get
I
an
greet you.
onyx amulet. There's a citrine,
Goodbye.
no onyx. Let's check the Act 1 vendor. No onyx amulet here either.
Still alive, are we?
Let's check the bows. No. Any other piece with 3 green sockets? No. This one, yeah, but not connected. F. I should have an onyx somewhere lying around here. I'm pretty sure that I was keeping them somewhere. I mean, I know that I have them on my other account, because I was prepared for this. Yeah, let me log in to the other character on solo self-found actually. So I will be able to show you what I mean. Now, what you need is a shark tooth quiver, a white one. You want a rare, meaning a yellow one, onyx amulet. Doesn't matter what rose it has, anything. What you want then is, and you can get this from Nessa in Act 1.
Hello.
What you want from Nessa is a Rain of Arrows gem, which is here.
God help
And
you.
then you will also need an Orb of Chance. Now, I think the toughest part, aside of finding a rare onyx amulet, I mean, you can always throw an essence on the white one, an essence that you don't need. Like, what would we not need? Like something like with minion damage and stuff. Where are these? Which ones are the minion ones? Whatever, anything. Or like energy shield. We're not using energy shield, so just throw it on. Use that to make an onyx. Would you have an one for me? No.
God hasn't abandoned us.
Just to make it rare. Worst case, you can use an Orb of Alchemy for this. Now, another thing you will need is a Gemcutter's Prison. Why? Because for this to work, the Rain of Arrows needs to have at least one quality. The way you would get an Gemcutters if you had none drop, like you got super unlucky, you didn't get one Gemcutters to drop, you can use the Gemcutters recipe. The Gemcutters recipe requires you to sell gems with a combined quality of 40. So we have 9 and 11, 9 and 11, which is 20, and 7, 13, which is another 20, equals 40.
Little help I
So if we sell these to any vendor, we get back a Gemcutter's Prison.
While we live, we are blessed.
So you can use this recipe to grab a Gemcutter's Prism, which you then can use on your Rain of Arrows to make it have at least one quality. Now, all these items combined, sell a Shark Tooth Quiver, a Rare Onyx Amulet, the Rain of Arrows, 1% plus an Orb of Chance, are going to give you a unique Shark Tooth Quiver, which is called Harry's Bite. And this is a super nice recipe, especially early on in the league when you want to get a unique quiver. The nice thing about Harry's is that it gives a lot of base stats like strength and intelligence, especially intelligence, which we really lack on our tree. Like this is the tree that we are going for in the end. So if you can, as you can see, if you put in intelligence here, it will make all the nodes blink that would have intelligence, and this is like 90% like in this area, most of them here, and then some here, and like over here you can see that it's way less. I mean, you could take one of the big ones for 30, but you generally want to avoid that. And all the big nodes that we are getting, and all the pathing that we take, hardly has any intelligence nodes. Like we skip almost every intelligence node, and hence we're trying to get as much int on our gear later on. Where do I have more int? I don't have that much int, which is the reason why I cannot level some of my gems that I would want to. Like I'm still starved for intelligence a little bit. This gear of this character is far from perfect. So you can see the next level of this gem would require 102 intelligence. It currently uses 99. I do have 138 int, but I prefer not to level it, because if I swap some other stuff around, I might be in a situation where I have to make much bigger sacrifices than to level up this gem, like equipping like suboptimal equipment only to use one gem. So I prefer to leave it low, and you know, this character is like 3 days old, so it was basically just a proof of concept of leveling with a bow character. But yeah, that's the recipe. And what this allows you to do, especially later on, is trying to get a nice corruption on the quiver. For example, mine has, I got really lucky with this one, and it has point blank. Actually, it happened shortly. I was like about to grab point blank, I think like within the next level or two. Part of the reason why this pathing goes along here, and you might ask, okay, why don't I take like the path here, because it's like 2 points and this uses 3 points, right? You could as well grab this life node via here, but we are going to go over to this node anyway to grab Primeval Force and Lethality, which is a lot of crit and crit multi for bows, as well as some fizz damage. And on this side we have elemental damage, elemental penetration, more elemental damage during flask effect, and more elemental in the small nodes here. So yeah, we're not saving anything, but this is because otherwise we would have to connect through here, which is 1, 2, 3, which is the same as what these 1, 2, 3 points. If we would go from this side down here. But since this is not like my endgame quiver, I would much rather have something like I don't know, a drill neck. A drill neck, because I'm still using rain of arrows. Do I have a drill neck? I did have a drill neck. Yeah. So much rather use a drill neck right later on, or some really nice is it shaper? Yeah, shaper quivers, for example, with additional arrows and stuff. But for now, this one with point blank serves me really well. It has some flat cold. It has, like I said, the base stats, strength and int. It has attack speed and some area of effect, which is negligible, and the 2 life gain per hit is also negligible because we mainly use life leech as a slayer. Like the first points in lab is going to be headsman for 20% more damage if you've killed recently, 20% increased area of effect if you've killed recently, and you cannot take reflected fist damage, which doesn't matter because there's hardly any reflect in the game, except for map rolls. And then you go Bane of Legends to get Onslaught for 20 seconds when you kill a rare or unique enemy, and you kill enemies that have 20% or lower life when hit by your skills, which is extremely powerful. It's essentially a 20% more damage, and makes some encounters really easy, especially when it comes to doing your 3rd and 4th lab, especially in the 4th, where Izaro is a monster, especially early on. Especially is my new favorite word, it seems. When it comes to the last lab, at the beginning of a lab, when you're under geared, don't have that much life, don't have that much damage, and I think you start the fight at around when he has 35% life or something like that. So instead of having to do like or the 35%, you basically just have to do 15 and he's dead. Super nice. So yeah, the call, 20% call on Slayer is really good. And then you go Endless Hunger in your 3rd lab to increase your maximum leech, and on the 4th you're getting Brutal Fervor, which doubles your leech rate, meaning you regenerate life 2 times faster. You get 30% increased damage while leeching, as well as life leech effects are not removed at full life, and this is the Slayer node. Slayer has the best leech in the game that you can have. It's you get double the life leech per second. Like the way leech works is it's based on your max HP. So let's say that I would have 5,000 life, right, to make it an even number. 10% of that is what? Is 500. 20% is gonna be 1,000. So regularly my maximum life leech would be 1,000 life per second. No matter how much life I leech, it's going to be capped at 1,000 per second, which is 20% of my max life. But Slayer gets 100% increased life leech per second, which means that now we are leeching 2,000 life per second, which means my life is gonna go up super fast. And once we have finished our Uber lab, we can also grab Volpact. Life leech per second is doubled again. Maximum life leech rate is doubled. Life regeneration has no effect. Now, this has the downside that when you have some degeneration effects on you, like dots and stuff, usually if you have no regen, you have nothing to counter those, right? Because like stuff like here that we have 1.6 of life regenerated per second, essentially this does nothing for us if we have Volpact, because life regeneration has no effect. But with Slayer's Overleech, which is here, life leech effects are not removed at full life, meaning your leech goes on and on and on and on and on, and you can stack this up to a ridiculous amount. So, for example, right now in Delve, where you do all the darkness running, it takes a really long time before you start to feel the degen. I mean, you have to kind of know how long you can stay down there, because when you have depleted all the overkill or the excess leech that you have amassed, that you have gathered, and you're getting more and more and more and more and more darkness stacks, at some point it's gonna crash, you know, and you're just gonna die instantly. But beforehand, if it's just, you know, running to one of the fossils, grabbing the fossil, getting hit by a few enemies, running back, you're going to life leech or regenerate life super, super quick, super easy, get back to the card and continue. Really nice. Also for boss fights, for bossing, this is super, super, super good. Yeah. So that's like part of the character already explained. I'm not going to go into all the details. I was thinking about maybe putting a guide out for this, but I'd rather do the series, because later on we will be able to show that it is a really versatile build. Because you have so many options that you can pick and choose from where to go with the character. Since we're not taking... I mean, okay, you could say that this is a very, very skill-specific node because it locks us into projectiles. But essentially, right now, what I could do, right at this moment, if I would say find a really good melee weapon, right? Like, do I have one? No, I do not. If I found a really good melee weapon, I could just as well go melee. Because something like Molten Strike, which also has the projectile tag, is also going to benefit from these projectiles nodes that we've picked. And we're going further, we're only going to be picking elemental damage nodes, meaning that every elemental skill, which for example Molten Strike is one, is also going to benefit from those. So even if you wouldn't have like a quiver and a bow, we could still switch to a completely different playstyle, even something like Frostblades, which is also a melee skill. Frostblades here. Attack, projectile, melee, cold. So this allows us, when a new league starts, that you can level much faster because your build is very adaptable, as well as having some really nice options for late game to make it really, really powerful. So yeah, I think this is going to be it for the first episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Leave me a like, subscribe to the channel if you do so. Also, feel free to share this content with others. Let me just maybe do this. Yeah, that's good. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Episode 2 is going to be hopefully a little bit faster, because there was really quite a lot of basic stuff that I was explaining here. And yeah, catch you in the next one.